what's going on. I've been on this journey of something called spiritual discernment. I know that sounds all like super duper mystifying, and to some extent it is, but to another extent it's not. It's really not as crazy as it sounds. Like for instance, if you want to discern spirits, first you got to know what spirits they are and what their characteristics are. Like here, just let me spout off some of these spirits that I've been learning lately. You got a lying spirit. That's someone who doesn't tell the truth. A seducing spirit. That's someone who tries to convince you or manipulate you into bend your will to agree or carry out whatever they want on you. In other words, give them what they want. That's a seducing spirit. You know, you got a hindering spirit. That's a spirit that just kind of, it's always stopping things from happening, the right things from happening, and then it also helps open the door for bad things to happen. That's a hindering spirit. Let me think. Okay, so there's a lying, deceiving. You can have a bitter spirit. That's like when you're like really angry and resentful, and just holding a grudge and carrying all this like negative emotion and letting it drag you down instead of forgiving. In a way, that's what I perceive you being the gall of bitterness. And dude, that shit ain't no joke, being in the gall of bitterness. Cause at least I'm aware of it now, and if I feel myself slipping into the quicksand of the gall of bitterness, you know, I can catch it. But before, I kind of would fall in and out of it, and not even realize that it was ever there. You just can't let the root of bitterness take root. You know, that's not good. All right, but anyway, all right. You got receiving spirit. Okay, at the moment, I mean, let me think. You can okay, the one book, it says try the spirits. You know, you can have things like there's a part where it talks about King Saul. I think it's in First Kings, where he sees the witch of Endor, and it brings back a spirit. But that's kind of another negative, very negative example of it. It's documented. Let me think of another one. It's like, for instance, when Jesus was out walking on the water, in this one instance, they thought he was a spirit. So when they looked at him and thought he was a ghost, so obviously this is a common, they see these things. Anyway, let me think of more spirits. Okay, there's something in Acts called the Python spirit. And this Python spirit is like, basically it's the Greek oracles use this Python spirit to basically do like fortune telling. It's a real spirit. It's the spirit of a constrictor, and it kind of it's also closely associated with the Jezebel spirit, which is just like a really rebellious woman. You can have the spirit of rebellion. If you have the spirit of rebellion, is like that unto witchcraft. So basically, if you're just eager to rebel and revolt, like if you sees any opportunity to go bape shit, you got that spirit, and it's not a good spirit. So you got Leviathan. Leviathan is like basically Dagon, and this is like different spirits fall under it. Like the group mentality is like Leviathan spirit, like states. You got the beast of the sea. Maybe that is referring to some extent that these people are under a large Leviathan spirit. You know, you also got they call them wolves in sheep's clothing. That's kind of like, that's an antichrist spirit. So see, I just kind of gave you a rundown on spirits. Of at least, you know, some of the spirits that are mentioned in the Bible and how they kind of work, some are like related to people and their particular kind of craftiness towards that sin. Or sometimes there's a totem animal like a Leviathan or a python, And basically, there's the servants of Apollo, and Apollyon is the sun god, the sun serpent, the sun snake, the sky spirit. They call the devil the prince of the power of the air. There's another kind of spirits. These are the high heavenly rulers. See, in Daniel, it talks about the prince of Persia. This is what you call an archon. And they basically, there's also something called the Testament of Solomon. And it names off all these different like demonic creatures and these like high, like hell's got a hierarchy, and like it's like the mafia, you know, like you'll have underbosses and captains and enforcers and foot soldiers and just your thugs, your bottom feeders. And it's kind of outlined. That's another kind of spirit. There's the legion. That's like a possession by, that's a multitude of spirits in one person. So I'm just saying, these are many. I just gave a lot of examples of spiritual discernment, and these things should help if you go and study each one and see what it is and what its characteristics are and its usages in past excursions, spiritual excursions.